Our next question comes from Jason, who says, "Hey Ramsey, I was wondering if you still do full contact sparring with headshots to this day or only light contact sparring. I'm curious specifically because of your skull injury. If you're not familiar, I had a fight back in 2011 that ended my professional fighting career where I got a massive skull fracture, depressed skull fracture right here, big old hairline right up there, blinded in one eye, and yeah, not a good day. Not a good day in the cage. So, I'm a huge advocate of light sparring, and man, I wish I would have jumped on that bandwagon decades previously. That would have saved me a lot of wear and tear on the body, and would have allowed me to log a whole lot more hours and actually learn how to fight before I got in the cage and started trying to do it. I was trying to learn ex post facto. Not nearly as effective. But, yeah, the overwhelming majority of the sparring that I do is light contact. Now, how hard the other guys go, I have no control over that. So when I spar, always I observe rule number 1 of fighting: protect yourself at all times. And so I always go light with the intention, do not damage my training partners. Not everybody has that level of control. In fact, most people don't. Most people try to knock my head off. And I've got a good enough skill set where I can mitigate that damage and not get my head knocked off. But every once in a while, I'll run into somebody who is not gonna make that a possibility. I was at the UFC Performance Institute training with some of the fighters a few weeks back, and I was sparring with the guys, having a great time. And the sparring, it's spirited, but you know, it's light. They know how to use control. They're not trying to cause a concussion. They tend to go harder to the body and legs, but lighter on the head. And that's just a good training methodology. And at one point, I started sparring with this bigger guy. We're doing a boxing round, and he's throwing bombs at me. And I'm thinking like, let's see if he'll mellow out a little bit. And I'm throwing, just light back at him, but he's throwing bombs, and I'm thinking, okay, I could spar the rest of this round, but I'm probably going to get hit about 6 or 7 times, considering the way this is going so far, and I'm going to leave with some brain damage if I do that. And so, I called a timeout. I'm like, sorry man, can't keep up with the pace you're setting. And so, I sat out, found a different training partner. He found a different training partner that was willing to go at that intensity, and everybody was happy. A big problem a lot of gyms have, and I'm going on a side note tangent here, is when they have an experience like that, like one guy ramps up the volume and he's going at a higher level of intensity than you want, and so what do? You ramp up the violence, and then it turns into a full-fledged fight, and people get hurt, and your career gets shortened. If you can just swallow your pride for a minute and be like, hey, I don't want to get additional brain damage today, and call that timeout and say, yeah, I can't spar at that level of intensity today. Sorry, let's find different training partners. And then everybody can leave happy. Anyway, do light sparring. It's good for you. Thanks for watching. Now get out there and train.